Hello everybody, and in this video we're going to talk about, well, do spies get trained by the Bible? Interesting topic, but here's some connections, right? The first show that we have that's out right now that talks about spies and things like that is called Lioness. Well, when it comes to Lioness, what happened in the TV show, especially in the first episode that got the person or individual caught? The person was caught with a tattoo. Well, in the Bible, it says, thou shalt not mark your body or something like that, so on and so forth. Why? Because it's an identifiable mark that puts you in a certain category that people can make up their own psychology based upon you because of a simple tattoo. You may have the tattoo of an anchor. You may have the tattoo of an angel. You may have the tattoo of a cross, something. But that also shows what you believe in, where you come from, what you assign yourself to, and where your psychology is. And it says so much more about you because you were willing to withstand the pain to mark that part of your body or that, that arm, that shoulder, whatever, in the name of pursuit of expressing yourself. And there's pain that comes along with it. So therefore, it either has meaning or no meaning at all. And if it has no meaning at all, why is it there? So that's one of the things that, had me questioning this thing, because in Lioness, the lady had, I think it was a cross tattoo, and then all of a sudden she ended up losing her life because it was an identifiable mark and they didn't catch that in the first place. Number two, if you ever seen the show Harlots, right? It's about ladies of the night, or in this day and age, you might call them a mattress, so on and so forth. This is like using courtesans and other ladies that were there, or like a concubine, so on and so forth, but mainly courtesans that were skilled assassins that would sleep with their targets, so on and so forth, in order to, well, get information or whatever the case may be. Now, if we go to the Bible, you remember Samson got screwed over by a female who cut his hair off, who happened to also spend time with him. Interesting. It's all coming together if you stick with me here, because think about it. I'm not saying one or the other is bad. I'm telling you about the techniques and the way people are trained in certain environments. I mean, it's a hypothetical guess, but you could go ask somebody who was in the military or hung around those people or actually did that job for yourself, or maybe you could just put two and two together. So that's one of the things there, because it was taught in the Bible. That's 2,000 years old, and it's still being used today. The markings on the body is over 2,000 years old, but it's still being used today. And even you can see with news articles today that, well, people do get identified by either tattoos, what they're wearing, whatever the case, etc. Moving forward, if you're getting any value out of this or you find this interesting, go ahead and smash that like button, and don't forget to follow me, because yes, I may talk about a lot of business and stuff like that, but I also get into the philosophies of things as well as other things pertaining to not only my past, but different questions that I have about the world and how it pertains to, well, spirituality and making all these connections. So, excuse me. Next, we have loyalty. Well, how is loyalty tested? Well, what would you do to survive? Would you do something bad or would you do something good? And then if you say you're loyal, well, to whom? Actually, because you could tell somebody, remember, a courtesan or whomever, a spy could tell you they're loyal to you, but they're normally lying in order to get information out of you. And this would fall into the realm of, well, counter intel, so on and so forth, etc. Hey, I like you, blah, 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 blah. And they're only nice to you for that moment. How do you decipher when that person is truly loyal and they're supposed to actually be there? Now, during my time, studying, so on and so forth, in the military, you would go through a lot of strenuous things. Well, reading the Bible, because, well, I read books, but it's the one that almost everybody reads. You have, well, Job. Job was tested to see if his loyalty could be broken, or I should say his spirit or belief, right? He went through many trials. Moses had to lead people, but then failed when he was not loyal and understanding that I need you to use your voice, your words, not your staff on the rock, so on and so forth, etc. Instead, he gets upset because there's no water coming from the rock. The people are putting pressure on him. So he takes his staff and he bangs on the rock, and then eventually water comes out. And because of that, he did not go into the promised land. That's why I normally reiterate to people, use your words, because words can quickly turn into violence. Moses already did that proved that, I should say, and he was very loyal, but he still got upset at a rock because Well, I guess he didn't think that he had power in his words or his voice. So this is why I talk about things like pitch, tone, and communication, and how it also not only affects you in business, but in life on your pursuit to finding freedom. And then, of course, whom are you loyal to? Well, if you're going to say you're loyal to somebody, or that you're loyal, or are you a loyalist? Because there's a difference there. Loyalist in history means something else. Loyalty comes with an individual that actually proves that they'll always be there for sickness and in health and all that you would hear in vows, or when you make a I do solemnly swear to protect and defend, so on and so forth, when you swear into some place, and a bunch of other places. But where's your loyalty actually? And loyalty, well, you can't have loyalty without a why. And if you don't know why you're loyal to somebody, are you really that loyal? So, last but not least, and this is so interesting, the understanding of rank. Now, I've been around a lot of people, so on and so forth, and I've been in different environments. And one thing I know is that if somebody's put in a position of leadership, their rank is something different sometimes, depending on where you are. I'll use myself as an example. So when I was in the military, I was a low-ranking NCO. However, because I was put in charge of a section, I had people above me and below me that I had to lead. And because I was put in a leadership position, I had to take charge of everyone, including the people that should know better that are ranks above me. But because I was in charge of that section, it all fell on me, and it was my fault if they got in trouble, because not only should they know better, I should have known better to tell them even more so because of the position that I was in. So that's one thing. Now let's go to the Bible. If you go to the Bible, they talk about ranks. They talk about angels, this, that, and the third, so on and so forth. They talk about the spies that went to go help Lot, so on and so forth. And they told his wife, don't look back. And then, of course, people may say, Daddy wears the pants, but only if Mommy gets to pick them out. Let's just say that. So Mommy wanted to look back. She didn't listen, but the faith ended up keeping Lot's eyes somewhere else and protected him as she turned into a pillar of salt. Then because he listened to the direction. Moses, same thing. And then, of course, it's the understanding when it comes to like the angels, right? You have the seraphim, you have cherubim, you have archangels, you have regular angels, you have principalities, you have powers, you have virtues, etc. And they all fall into a certain rank until the power structure gets shifted. Remember, in the Bible, Michael becomes an archangel and the general of the angels, so on and so forth, of heaven, so on and so forth. But before that, there was Lucifer, Satan, whatever, blah, 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 seraphim, which is a higher ranking angel. But when he got kicked out of heaven, Michael took the position, but he was a lower ranking angel. So how is he above other people, so on and so forth, etc.? Same thing happens in other branches of service as well as in the military, or possibly with the guys who do this, snooping around. So, I mean, think about it. If you want somebody to hide in plain sight, are you going to put them in a position of power or where you need them to be, like a chess piece? Because, well, just like if you want to laugh or hear God laugh, tell me your plans. So if you want to hide something in plain sight, why not put somebody in a position that gets overlooked, like a janitor or a supervisor or a regular post guy, so on and so forth, or etc. Maybe you want them to blend into the environment, so you do put them in other positions of power or leadership, like a chess piece, because you know they can handle themselves. They have already proven that they're loyal. They'll do almost anything to get the job done, so they might be a harlot, so on and so forth, give or take. It doesn't matter if it's male or female. It works on both sides. And then, of course, you have the lioness mindset where they go undercover. So you have to understand that they have to not only be understanding when it comes to the rank structure, but they can't get carried away if they get put in a position and they're supposed to be undercover and then they complain that their boss is not listening to them. If their boss is a director and they are a manager, the director's in charge. You are not in charge. Therefore, you blew your cover, so on and so forth, by trying to flex, so on and so forth. And these are the flaws that you would see for a bad actor. However, in the Bible, it's the same thing, right? With the power structure, they talk about the pharaohs and there's power structures there, but it goes somewhat all over the place, but it's replicated everywhere and it's been 2,000 something years since they changed tactics. So it must work. So if you can learn from the Bible, you can learn from life. And if you can learn from life, you can do anything you want. So if you got any value out of this video, if you found it interesting, please like and subscribe. And please do not forget to share with those around you and those like you so that it can touch other people, reach other people, and possibly lift up their day or open their eyes to something that might just be right in front of them. So till next time, my friends, I hope you find your freedom. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.